never forget this day. I'll never forget this day. I'll never forget this day. I'm gonna throw my memories away. Now I feel I'm done, and I'm cursed by every day till my time is gone. I've never felt this way before, and now I know this all for sure. I won't forget your last betray. I'll never forget this day. I'll never forget this day. I'll never forget this day. I'm gonna throw my memories away. Now I feel I'm done, and I'm cursed by every day till my time is gone. I've never felt this way before, and now I know this all for sure. I won't forget your last betray. I'll never forget this day. I've never felt this way before, and now I know this all for sure. I won't forget your last betray. I'll never forget this day.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as I mute my stream because we're hearing double, we are live here. I am your host, David, aka HarpyBrother_1. You know, channel person that's up, down, whatever direction that thing is. I think it's up to the side. Anyway, and this is my co-host,
Raining Death 909, also known as Kenneth. You can also follow me on Twitch.
Oh yeah, he finally has a Twitch now. And technically he's had one, but he actually uses it now. There's a difference.
Yes.
We normally play together now.
We have a series of Borderlands too going on.
Damn, there we go.
I'm also playing Rhyme and some other things eventually.
Rhyme and other things. Got some sick rhymes, man. Anyway.
So let's get on
I
with...
didn't switch it over. There we
Alright.
go. There.
That's the wrong way.
Woo! I knew that was going to happen too. I was going to fix that. It's fine. It's So we do
Look at all the behind the scenes.
There you go.
I need to update the
And
topic.
that topic isn't right. Like usual. Us News. Welcome to us. Okay, still in the news part. And there we go, world news. And our first story is about
So,
the...
to start us off at the top of the hour, massive fire engulfs London high-rise, leaves at least 12 dead. And we will roll the video for this. It's actually a very good video. Terrible, tragic story, but good video.
Alright. Here comes the video. Oh, no, we're buffering.
The high-rise in London that went up in flames with scores of families inside, many of them asleep. One
What's
mother
that
dropping
music?
her baby out a window
Nightline
to somebody
music.
below. Were safety warnings missed before this inferno? Here's ABC's James Longman.
An inferno in the middle of the night. An entire building in flames. Explosions, fireballs, residents trapped inside this 24-story London high-rise, home to at least 500 people.
Something crazy's happening.
Many of them asleep as the fire crept higher and higher.
We could hear people screaming, help me, help me.
Oh my, oh.
An eyewitness recording this daring escape attempt.
Yo! This guy's sending a rope! Don't do it! Don't do it!
Residents dropping down makeshift ropes fashioned from bed sheets. Then, an act of utter desperation as the building was engulfed in flames.
A lady appeared at the window, and what she was saying, I'm about to throw my baby, please catch the baby.
Witnesses saying the baby fell nearly 10 stories and miraculously was safely caught by a bystander.
Hello, come here, come here.
And then this harrowing Facebook Live video, apparently filmed by a resident trapped inside the building.
We're stuck on the 23rd floor.
God, how terrifying that must be.
There's too many people stuck upstairs.
Many residents of the tower still missing. So far, 12 people have been confirmed dead.
And I do anticipate that the number of fatalities will sadly
it's
increase beyond those 12.
Insane.
More than 70 people remain hospitalized as firefighters continue what could be a grim search in a still smoldering building.
We're told that firemen have now been able to go room by room in that building looking for survivors and, of course, retrieving any dead bodies that may need to be found.
Over 200 firefighters were called to Grenfell Tower, some coming dangerously close to the blaze.
Oh, yo, 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 yo!
Others pushing bystanders back.
Can you please move back, everybody? Thank you!
Fearful the building could collapse.
Do you live in the building?
I do, I live in the building, yeah.
Hanan and her family live on the 9th floor of Grenfell Tower. She says she was awoken from her sleep by the smell of smoke.
My son grabbed my daughter and my husband, and we just left the flat. My brother lives on the 21st floor. When I came down, I kept calling because I could see literally the flames, they were just rising up. I called him to say, can you get out? And he said he can't get out. The smoke was too much. The advice he was given was to stay in the flat.
Your brother is still trapped.
I don't know where he is. I don't know. My family have gone round to the hospitals. I don't know where he is. He was wife and he got 3 children.
Some residents are now speaking out, saying their complaints about the building's safety were ignored.
There are serious questions being raised tonight about why the fire spread so rapidly and whether fire alarms were working properly.
Some residents telling me today that they believe decorative cladding recently added to the tower's exterior may have fueled the blaze up the height of the building.
They actually have a significant amount of plastic on the inside of them, and that, of course, is combustible. It'll burn, and when you stack them one on top of another on the outside of the building, and the fire can travel literally from the bottom to the top.
According to the BBC,
If you want
this
to pause it
sign
here
was
real
posted
quick.
inside the tower.
There's an update to the story, and they actually found that the cladding was responsible for the spread of the fire. Apparently, apparently there's an exterior coating, an interior coating, and it's open on the inside. And the fire got on the inside, and it basically had a pathway all the way up, which is why it spread so quickly.
As I said, I mean, you'd think, like, these days that something like that wouldn't happen anymore, most of the time. Because we usually have good fire safety, and also usually buildings are built with, some sort of fire suppression, something.
This
Something that
building's
would
too
stop
old
that
to
from
actually have a
happening.
fire. This building's too old to require a fire suppression system.
That's annoying.
This building had been reported for decades that there were issues with the fire alarm system and with all the fire safety in general.
And they're probably going to get sued now by everybody.
No, I expect it. I mean, wrongful death, and it's owned by the city.
Ooh.
It's a
Section
management
8 type
company
thing?
by a city.
By the city?
Yeah, the management company is owned by the city.
Huh. That's kind of weird. I don't know how UK politics works out, but I don't think, something like that would happen here. That'd be like the only reason that would happen is like some weird Section 8 type stuff. But
Well, that's the thing.
Nobody
I don't know if it is Section 8, like how it would be here. I mean, I think it is. I think it may be something like that. But.
I think it might be something like that. I wonder if my boy Prince is still alive. He lived in probably something like that. He was government assistance.
Yes, and then they from later reports, they were saying that the fire alarm wasn't working on the upper floors.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, those people were just chilling up there.
Yeah, sleep.
Having a gay old time.
Yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
All right, let's continue rolling the video. Why do we keep getting blocks of red? What's going on here?
What do you mean, where?
This thing keeps changing from green to red, which means like connection issues type stuff.
Seems to be solid.
Everything is solid.
Yeah,
and it's just
ignore
OBS being OBS, probably.
Yeah, probably.
It keeps jumping up to like 5,000 kilobits for some reason. I don't know. Whatever, it's fine. Lancaster.
Telling residents to stay in their homes in case of fire. Experts say that is often the safest choice, but not with a fire of this magnitude.
In just about every high-rise fire in America, we tell people to actually stay in their apartments. In the case of the fire in London, this was an exterior fire that was involving dozens of apartments simultaneously. And so that's a situation where the shift to full building evacuation should take place.
Building plans appear to show that the tower had only one staircase, which would have made getting out more difficult. Today, Grenfell's building management firm released this statement. We are aware that concerns have been raised historically by residents. We always take all concerns seriously, and these will form part of our forthcoming investigations. It's too early to speculate what caused the fire and contributed to its spread. We will cooperate fully with all the relevant authorities in order to ascertain the cause of this tragedy. Questions will continue to swirl around this catastrophic blaze, while the residents of Grenfell Tower grapple with how much they've lost.
We lost everything, but we're unharmed.
But you're literally just in what you have now.
I have my phone and I have my cards and I have my keys to my house.
But that's keys for a house which you don't have.
Yeah.
The response from the local community has been incredible. Bottles of water, food, provisions, blankets, everything people need to get them through.
The displaced residents currently living in temporary shelters, grateful to be alive, but unsure of what will happen next.
People have lost their homes, children have seen things, people were jumping out the window. We just need to rebuild as a community now.
For Nightline, I'm James Longman in London.
I've seen some stuff, man. But yeah, no, I mean, this is relevant information. Personally, I, no matter what, I would just grab my computer. Everything else can burn except for my computer. And my computer I carry it around enough to have good stamina with it. I mean, I'll run out my
if there's a fire, I'm going to toss my stuff through my bay windows.
Well, I mean, technically we all live on a bottom floor, but I mean, if I was for instance, I thought about this. I've honestly thought this through when I lived in my third-story apartment in Austin. I was like, hey, if there's a fire. As soon as I hear that alarm or anything going off, because we had something that smelled like burning plastic a couple times. I thought the building was fucking on fire. And our room was kind of smoky and stuff, and I was like, what the fuck? But either way, I was like, alright, so first thing, unplug all my shit, take my computer with me, and that's really all I need. Everything else I usually have on me, everything important. Keep my car, all my clothes can burn, everything else is replaceable. My computer's honestly replaceable. And this is one thing you have to understand, everything's realistically replaceable. I learned that years ago.
Not really. If you have particular files or pictures you may not have backed up, or if you may have physical objects that you care about, that's irreplaceable.
What? Physical objects like what?
I don't know, pictures that may actually be physical pictures or items from childhood.
I was born in the years of when there was no such thing as physical pictures.
My mom took pictures. We have tons of physical
but
pictures.
I don't have any of those. They're with my mom, where they're going to stay forever because I'm never going to take them.
Yeah.
Maybe my wife in the future will be like, oh, let's take the pictures that your mom has for us. No. But I mean, yeah.
And I'm just saying, people have a lot of personal items. And
Well, yeah. But I mean, I don't.
You
I
don't.
I travel light. I'm a nomadic person just in
I do.
general anyway.
I have tons of things.
Yeah, so like all I need to take is this. Yeah, there's some files on it that's important, but I mean, I had to remember my hard drive basically
Forcibly died.
Yeah, and I was like, well, oh well. I mean, most of my like personal files are backed up, are all actually on one of the other hard drives.
Yes.
But like, I would still save stuff to desktop periodically instead because it was just easier to access and get to because I'm lazy. I should have, in hindsight, put them in other places. But
anyway, Crash Plan, great service. $15 a month. You can back up 5 computers, unlimited amount.
Yeah, but I don't really care enough.
But I mean,
all you gotta do is just work smarter in the first place. And
that is smarter. It's offsite cloud backup.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about anything happening to it.
Well, that's the thing.
Plus,
it's for the unexpected.
Plus, none of my data is really relevant to me. Everything is replaceable to me. Even stuff that's irreplaceable is replaceable to me. I mean, the only thing I really keep honestly on my computer are just nudes. Those are the only things I really lost. But I had those in other folders. Yeah.
Okay, moving.
But I mean, realistically, there's not much like personal files or anything. I lost important files for like the cases I was going to try to like present recently. That's about it.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
We do the London Fire questions one.
Yeah, questions.
Okay.
So,
if you want to,
this
is your baby. I'm gonna let you give it to you since apparently you know a lot more about what's going on.
So, the high-rise apartment block in London that went up in flames Wednesday recently had an $11 million upgrade, triggering questions about how it became.
It's funny how I said that and you start coughing.
Yes, it triggered my cough. A blazing concrete coffin. Experts said the 24-story building's cladding had an outer layer of panels added to improve its appearance and energy efficiency while keeping moisture out, would be among the focuses of the investigation into the deadly incident. Authorities said Thursday that at least 17 people were killed, while many others remained missing. Witnesses described chunks of the cladding raining down on the area surrounding Grenfell Tower, which was built in 1974.
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to say. Like, I could see bits of melted plastic falling down. That's all that was.
You
which
can
would
see
be
in that
like
picture there.
That's not like a rocket scientist level like conclusion to deduce from something like that.
If the fire manages to break out and get into the cladding, it melts the external
you
metal.
An entire paragraph there.
Sorry. Matthew Needham Lang, a litigation lawyer and expert in construction, said video showing the fast-moving fire was reminiscent of footage of a recent blazes in Dubai, where high-rise buildings were engulfed in flames due to the cladding igniting.
That's interesting. So even Dubai has problems with fire. That's rich.
Well, I imagine the cladding is like a universal method to keep moisture in and be more energy efficient. The fact of the matter is the cladding needs fire retardation systems in it.
And which is kind of funny because
you would think it would have it.
Europe's pretty good about that. Like, so something that we don't do here in America with a lot of our electrical appliances, we have plastic that it's like not self-extinguishing, like for all of our wall plates and shit. And over there in Europe, because I watched that one dude, the big5.com or whatever, big.live, whatever the fuck his name is. But either way, he's like, yeah, our receptacles here have to be like auto-extinguishing plastic. And then all the other stuff he was buying, from the UK store was like auto-extinguishing plastic. It burns, melts for like 0 seconds, puffs out, and just stops. And I was like, that's cool! I was like, we don't have that in America.
No. First of all, we do have quite a lot of regulations when it comes to building and construction. But I think a lot of them are just kind of... It's like some of them are complete bullshit just to make you pay more money to certain people, but some of them are actual useful. Possibly. I don't know. Currently, like a lot of outlets are being installed with the ground up.
You mean like upside down?
Yeah. But that's actually proper as a part of the new electrical standards.
What?
It's so that way whenever you pull it out, because your thumb may slip. And while it's still in there, you could actually electrocute yourself. But when you're pulling it out and your thumb slips, it hits the ground so nothing happens. It's a safety measure.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've personally electrocuted myself before by doing this. like, I was pulling shit out of a UPS, and I don't know if you've ever had... Okay. We had hundreds of UPS at my last job. So every computer basically had their own UPS.
Yeah, same here. At my last
okay. So you know how much of a pain in the ass it is to plug things in and unplug things out of new UPSs? Like, they just don't want to work. They're like, kind of...
Yeah.
That's where I got to use a little bit extra force, so it was fine. So then one time I was trying to unplug one, and I pulled on it, and I didn't get it all the way. So then I went down further, and I touched across the two prongs. I was like, yeah! And I pulled it out. It was just the, it was like the CSI song, yeah!
Yeah, so that's exactly what they want to prevent.
I don't think it'll necessarily stop that.
I mean, whenever you grip things, you either grip things by the side or you grip things like this.
Yeah. I mean, I pull from, like, the plastic. The only reason I did that is because it was under a desk I couldn't see, and I was just like,
yeah, reaching around.
There was a very specific instance.
I mean, I know how that is.
Normally, I don't know how somebody could do that. Like, even if your thumb has to go like in the gap.
I mean, it might, because I mean, you know, if you're trying to get under there, trying to pull it out, you know, you might be holding it like this, so that way, you know, you can get the grip around the main body, and then you've got your thumb pressing down.
But the only other thing I see being a problem is on the opposite end of the spectrum. I believe the ground plug is usually longer than the other three, and that's also what kind of keeps it from falling out sometimes too. So if you do it the other way around, your plugs just fall out.
No, I mean, the ground will still be holding it.
People can install them whichever the fucking way they want. They can install the receptacles upside down. It doesn't really fucking matter.
Well, I mean,
it happens all the time.
Actually, well, it depends on what it says. Because I was reading into this, apparently, because I was just bored. And they legally have to go by whatever it says on the receptacle. If it says this way's up and it's upside down, well, that way's up. They have to install it how it is. Otherwise, they're breaking regulation, and then they could get fined out the ass.
Installers, yes, but if you do your own work to your house, you don't apply to a lot of codes like that. Doing personal improvements doesn't count. But it should be fine, unless it died.
Oh god!
What in the?
What in the tarnation?
What the fuck?
Look at OBS. It's red. It was red for when that was
That's
going
what I'm
on.
saying. He keeps doing that. I don't know why it's doing that.
I don't know.
But Twitch is like, nah, you're cool, bro.
Oh gosh.
What the fuck?
Let me go.
Is it coming up like that on like stream?
Let me see.
Check it out.
Check. Mic 1, 2.
You say mic check, but yeah.
Let me just copy the stream over to my other desktop.
Because I mean, like, it's showing that weird garbled cum thing.
It doesn't show up on stream.
Yeah, so I think it's fine. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I think Twitch is just being
going full retard.
Twitch is just being stupid, I think.
Probably. Yeah, looks good. Yeah.
Okay, let's continue on with the story.
Alright, so there you go. Long story short,
yeah, it's right there.
Plastic catches fire.
Actually, it's the insulation in the middle that ignites and starts to burn.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. So this is there.
Well, normal insulation is supposed to be fucking non...
well, this is British insulation.
That's weird.
It says these types of fires can climb up very quickly, so you can get huge flames going... Excuse me. Up the inside of the cladding, which the firefighters can't see, and then it breaks out somewhere else. Needham Lang noted that the first cladding fires were in 91, but regulations haven't kept pace with the development in materials. He warned that thousands, probably tens of thousands, of buildings in the UK alone feature similar cladding to that installed in Grenfell Tower.
Probably.
The company that provided the cladding, Harley Facades, said that it was made from aluminum composite material, which is 2 sheets of aluminum wrapping a non-aluminum core. In a statement, Harley Facades managing director Ray Bailey said, "At this time, we are not aware of any link between the fire and the exterior cladding to the tower." And that's just different. And people are saying basically they met all the regulations.
Everyone's saying that. Hey,
everybody's saying it's not us.
It's not our fault. I mean, that's standard procedure.
Yes, but I mean, it's pretty clear that it's probably the cladding.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the building.
I mean, look at that picture right there. It says significant chunks of the tower's outer cladding rained down on the area during the fire, including these pieces found by ITV News' Nick Wallace. I mean, you could see it. You saw we saw the pictures and videos. Flaming pieces of freaking cladding were coming off the building.
Yeah. And if you look, like I was going to say here, the still of this video, that, like...
It's clear it's an exterior fire.
The exterior of the fucking thing is burned, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like. Like I said, it doesn't take a rocket scientist level of knowledge to deduce that that's exactly what it looks like. I mean, come on. I saw it raining down, and I instantly was like, something is covering this building, it's plastic, and it's raining on things. That's what it looked like, burning fucking plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Burning, well, whatever. Maybe not plastic, but yeah. Alright, where were you at?
No, I mean, everything else that video covered. So it's pretty much taken care of.
Whoa. Interesting. Anyway.
Alright, let's...
Pizza, baby.
Pizza's here.
Yeah, pizza.
I guess I shall cover this as well.
Okay, we'll do my enhance.
Enhance. I can't even zoom. Why isn't this working? So this is actually really interesting news. So as you may or may not know, in Palestine, there's two authorities in it. Palestine, the Gaza Strip, is run by Hamas, which is a terrorist organization. And then there's the Palestinian Authority, which runs the other part of Palestine. Now, Hamas was a terrorist organization that decided to become a government, quote unquote, and they've been doing what they want for themselves and not for the people involved.
Whoa, just pizza.
Okay, now we're doing it. So now we're just gonna eat this on stream. So don't mind, the man behind the mirror.
Greasy.
Delicious. And that's definitely yours. With your white sauce. It'll make your teeth turn grey.
Do what? Did you say don't make your teeth turn grey? What?
It's a thing off of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
What?
As a part, one of the... have you not watched Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared?
No, what the hell is that?
It's a great, series of videos. It's basically made as like a parody of kids shows, and it's super funny, and it's a trip every time.
Is it as funny as your face? Ha!
It's even funnier.
Damn. Jesus Christ, pretty fun.
Damn. You got jokes over here. So,
I love how there's this video playing over here. I'm glad thank you, what is this, Ynet? Thank you for playing videos in the background that are really annoying, but not playing sound. Of course it's not. What do you think, it was cold? It actually got here, I think, earlier than it was, it was within its time frame.
Sorry folks, excuse me for a moment. No, need a napkin. It's super greasy. I don't want to get it everywhere. Trying to get it out of here, but their turkey's getting caught up.
They're on the counter right there.
Yeah.
Can this man make any more sound?
Yes. But you know what's not picking it up? My mic.
Not picking up?
No, it is. But it's not picking up the vibrations and such. I don't even know why I wear this. I don't even need to hear myself.
That's what I was going to say. We could just go back to the splitter thing, but then we would only hear output out of this mic.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It's fine. Okay.
It's not like you really need to hear yourself.
I'm good. Besides, OBS doesn't allow you to really hear it. I mean, somewhat. Okay, so the Palestinian Authority issued a statement on Wednesday marking the 10th anniversary of the terrorist group turned political party, Hamas's military coup
Hamas.
that led to its taking over the Gaza Strip from the Palestinian Authority and the Fatah party. In a statement, the Palestinian Authority struck out.
I was gonna say, you good?
There we go. Much better. In a statement, the Palestinian Authority struck out against Hamas, describing Hamas's rule over Gaza as the second Nakba that struck our people.
Nakba.
The Palestinian Authority's statement continued by saying that Hamas has turned the Gaza Strip into an intolerable hell, which they are correct.
Into an intolerable what?
Hell.
Oh. Yeah, because Gaza Strip's like fucked.
Yeah, they have electricity about 3 hours a day.
Really?
And now that Hamas isn't paying the Palestinian Authority, it's going to get worse. The use of the phrase Nakba in a different context other than the use of it in the Israel's war on the independence in 1948 is exceptional for any Arab organization, but particularly the Palestinian Authority. Gaza's 2 million residents already get by with only 4 hours of electricity a day.
You're off by one.
I was off by one. The story was updated.
Dude, is that a fucking, like, Middle Eastern John Connor? Ooh, it looks like Middle Eastern Sean Connery. God damn.
Excuse me, folks.
Don't
I'm
choke
dying
on it.
over here.
Yep. Again, he looks like a Middle Eastern Sean Connery.
Yeah, kind of. They said, in an effort to push his Hamas rivals out of power, Abbas, the leader of the Palestinian Authority, says his West Bank government will stop paying Israel to provide electricity. The PA's statement comes as the humanitarian condition in Gaza continues to deteriorate, and the PA president
Mahmoud Abbas, maybe?
Mohammed.
I mean,
Mohammed.
I don't think it's Muhammad. Because Mahmoud
Abbas. I'm just going to say President Abbas threatens to stop paying for
Just say
Gaza's
Middle Eastern
electricity.
Sean Connery.
Yes.
No,
Forcing
that's Hamas
Israel
leader.
to either side with Hamas and provide Gaza electricity without payment, or risk an outbreak of a greater humanitarian crisis.
What is a greater humanitarian crisis? They're just going to start carpet
Well, with
bombing
no
somewhere?
electricity, I mean, people couldn't even function. I mean, with 4 hours, that still ain't enough. But I mean,
Back
there's
to the Dark
hospitals
Ages,
there.
baby.
I mean, 2
Back to the
million
Dark-
people are there.
Back to the Dark Ages.
Municipalities
Off with their
controlled by
heads.
Hamas in the Gaza Strip also burden the residents with the taxes they collect, taxes estimated at millions of dollars each month. This,
God damn.
in addition to the suffering of the private sector and the construction, trade, and industrial sectors as a result of these taxes. And as you can see there, it's a picture of a Gaza family without electricity.
Candlelit
The PA also notes that Hamas has been looting the medical equipment and assistance transferred by the Palestinian Authority to hospitals in the Gaza Strip for use in private clinics belonging to the organization,
Wow.
which the civilian and military officials of the organization enjoy at the expense of ordinary citizens in Gaza. These are terrible people.
Yeah, these people sound like... These people kind of sound like American assholes.
They
To be
were
honest.
a terrorist organization.
They sound like American assholes, though.
Yeah.
This is what American people do. Stop that.
The PA also noted, yes.
Stop stealing our capitalism.
Abbas's attempt to disengage from Gaza began on the 10th anniversary of Hamas's takeover of the Strip. His plan has included gradually stopping the services the Palestinian Authority transfers to Gaza, as well as cutting the salaries of the Palestinian Authority officials in Gaza who have not worked since Hamas took over control of the Gaza Strip, but nevertheless continue to receive salaries. These people were receiving salaries for a decade without doing their jobs.
I mean, that's... Yeah.
That's interesting.
I mean, shall we talk about work?
Later. The PA also stopped the supply of diesel fuel to the Gaza Strip's power plant 2 months ago due to Hamas's refusal to pay the excise tax on diesel fuel, and continued with the Palestinian Authority's announcement that it was ceasing to pay 125 megawatts per month to the Gaza Strip via 10 power lines. This is an average NIS of $40 million a month. Hamas collects electricity payment from Gaza residents, but does not transfer the money to the Palestinian Authority. What the fuck, man? I mean, they need the power too. I mean, and I know they're not getting it from Egypt, because Egypt hates Hamas. So, what the hell is wrong with these people?
They probably stole some generators, like, nah, fuck you guys.
But now they can't get diesel fuel to power the generators. They're gonna run out eventually. Abbas in the past has demanded that he receive control over the Gaza Strip in exchange for the services the PA provides its residents, a demand that Hamas has refused. Speaking to others in private, Abbas was reported to have said, "I am no longer willing to be Hamas's ATM in Gaza without compensation. If they want to be provided the services, let me have control. If they don't want that, let them manage on their own." Hey, gotta do what you gotta do. And yes, that endangers and risks the lives of 2 million plus people. But when those people are ruled by a terrorist organization, and they do not rise up and overthrow them, and whenever they're making...
This is the age-old saying. It's something that I have to continue to tell myself when anybody asks for assistance. You can't help people that can't help themselves.